Hi, my name is David, and I'm an alcoholic, but I'm living in recovery now, and I'm happier every day of my life for that. I've said before that the Beatitudes need to be seen as a code of ethics, and it's pretty clear to me that this code applies not just to religion, but to the overall history and culture of our entire Western world. Now, here's how I think of this. The Ten Commandments is a legal code that governs our culture. What you can do and what you can't do. The Beatitudes, on the other hand, tell us the right way to live our lives in this culture as opposed to doing it the wrong way or the selfish way. The Lord's Prayer is a petition which asks that if we follow the commandments, which are the laws, and behave according to the Beatitudes, which are the ethics, this will lead us to finding and living a life where we can reach not only our full potential as human beings, but also to where we can achieve a spiritual awakening to life as it extends both throughout and beyond the boundaries of our lives in this natural world. And as we're going to see, I believe the result of following the steps will be a spiritual awakening of our own individual understanding. With that stated, let's talk about the fourth Beatitude, which goes, "Blessed are those which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled." So let's start first with some quick insight into the meaning of the words themselves. The root word in Latin for our word here, hunger, is a word which means to hunger, yeah, but it means hunger in the sense of desire as well. So it means like hunger as in to have a deep hunger for knowledge or a deep hunger for wisdom. The Latin word for thirst translates pretty much just like it says, thirst. But the Latin word for shall be filled means also to saturate, to soak, to fill up every little bit of us, to revel in the joy of that feeling. So it's safe to say that this beatitude is not just some nice, simple, holy-sounding phrase. Instead, it's a robust, determined, I won't be satisfied until I'm full, like that kind of phrase. In one of those little taglines we have in AA, there's a famous newcomer question that goes, now that I've quit drinking, why do I have to keep going to meetings? Well, the obvious answer is we're not in AA just to quit drinking. We're here to get better. I'm here to renew my life. Our journey now is to seek our full human potential to contribute to life in a virtuous way or in a righteous way. Such a journey has to be in large part a spiritual journey. Otherwise, hey, we're stuck dealing with our natural tendencies in this natural world. And look where that's gotten us. When I first realized that this is the heart of what I was being asked to do, I thought kind of like, whoa. But here's the thing. If I put in all this diligence and work in order to quit drinking or using or both and to get through my fourth step, do I really want to sit around on my butt or crash on my couch, not keep going for more? Is that it? You're telling me that's all we got, quit drinking? A sober man would have to be crazy not to try to keep going, try to seek out the mountains of human potential that remain to be found inside of himself. So the next thing I do is I say, I'm ready for more. What is it I'm after? And what do I have to do to get there? We said that the Beatitudes are about ethics. That's good versus bad. That's good versus evil. So let's talk about that. We know the basics of right from wrong, and we know as alcoholics and users that we were pretty good at doing wrong things. Safe to say we were good at stealing money from our family and our friends, isolating and embracing our resentments, lying, hiding our infidelities or other secrets, selfishness. We put our own families in danger. We drove with our kids in our car. And anger, resorting to anger or even to violence. We know these things are wrong because we have to dredge them all up on our fourth step, for one thing, and then we have to share them out loud with another human being. And that's something we all found really tough. And then we have to make amends with people we've harmed. These things we had to fess up to. These things are the ethically bad stuff. They're unethical whether you are a Protestant, a Catholic, a Jew, Muslim, Buddhist, Baha'i, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're wrong. But that's not all. Let's keep going. These are just the obvious wrongs. These are the activities we can observe in the outside world. But what about what goes on inside our heads and inside our hearts? So here's a picture of me scheming with myself before I take some sort of action. I'm hearing all the little voices going on. But as drunks and addicts, isn't this where about 80% of our problems really come from? We know that. So here's what I mean. It's how this works. Let's say that 4 years ago, when I was drinking or using a lot, I borrowed $1,000 from a guy. I promised I'd pay him back. I'll pay you back. And I promised this dude I'd give him the money. Now I'm clean and sober. I've done my fourth step. I'm about to call him up so I can go do my ninth step with him. But I find my head thinking, hey, this guy's got more money than God. Why does he need for me to pay him back? And I say, no. I need to pay him back. And I say, but he's been an a-hole for years. Just because I owe him this little bitty amount of money. It's only $1,000. No, I need to pay him back. But he probably won't even appreciate how hard I've worked to get this sober. And if he doesn't admit that to me, if he doesn't grant me that, it's really going to piss me off. Doesn't he realize how far I've come and what a good person I am now? Well, I say, hell, I guess I got to go pay him back. Hey, well, at least then I can tell my sponsor that I paid the guy back. And that'll be a good thing in my sponsor's eyes. So you got the picture? Looking at it from the outside, paying back the debt is the correct, the right, the admirable thing to do. But my intent is filled with ethical issues that are seriously gone bad. Here's what we really see in this effort. And remember, this is even before anything's happened. I haven't even made the phone call to this guy yet, and all this is working. What we have is selfishness, my disregard for the needs of this other person and that $1,000. Greed. We're rationalizing greed. I'd like to keep that $1,000 if I could, between you and me. Setting up my own resentments, which is what follows on expectations if, we set the expectations and they aren't met. Vanity or a lack of humility. Look at what a good guy I am giving the guy his own money back. Or pride. Wait till I tell my sponsor I did this. Ho, ho, ho. So, what's going on here? Well, it's simple. We're planning to do the right actions, but we're doing it with the wrong intentions. The bad intentions are what reveal our real defects of character. It's like, it isn't enough to go through the fourth and fifth steps with your sponsor. Just tell him or her what we did. Like, okay, here's the list of all the bad things I did. This beatitude, this fourth beatitude, tells us that in order to develop a virtuous or a righteous character, we have to be absolutely just as forthright in our intentions as we are in our actions. And that's an internal thing. That's a heart and soul thing, the intentions. Right actions based on virtuous intentions. This is recovery. This is spiritual progress. So are we supposed to be perfect? Or are we ever just good enough? Can we just go, I guess I'm good enough now? Well, I'll tell you the way I've come to look at it. In my third step, I worked hard to come to terms with how and what I should perceive my higher power to be. I worked hard at that. I did. I worked hard and deeply and long at that. I believe I will never, I never can, I will never fully understand my higher power. It's over my pay grade. But in meetings, I listen to how it works, and I believe it's my task to pursue spiritual progress on a continuous basis. There's no upper limit on how deep and wide my spiritual progress can extend. Now I feel like that journey continues. And now with this beatitude, I see in all my activities, in both my actions and also in my intentions, I need to be humble, loving, and forthright so as to prove myself worthy and deserving of my own progressing. And that puts me on the way to being a more virtuous, more righteous sort of person. Now, as a human being, I doubt I'll ever be perfect in anything. But if I can keep hungering and thirsting after righteousness, like we've said here, I believe that will bring me closer and closer to the higher power of my understanding. And that will mean I'm achieving more and more a very stunning, a very fantastic spiritual awakening of my own understanding. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll move ahead shortly.